What's up, traders? It's Vincent Mokotedi giving you an update on today's daily analysis and signals. Now, without wasting further time, traders, as you know, we already deal with a couple of currency pairs like the euro and the dollar, the pound, the dollar, EURCAD, pound card, euro and the pound, and last but not least, the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. So, with that being said, traders, let's jump straight into the market and see what happens today. Remember, it is very free for you to join the real account traders community. And if you want to join the real account traders community, all you have to do is register under our exclusive XNES link and then fund your account with the minimum of $20 since we are running a promotion or a special. So with that being said, I would like for you to join the real account traders community, to join the community full of traders, real account traders, not just demo hype or demo noise. So with that being said, traders, let's get into the market and get into this. Now, first thing that we have to pay attention to is yesterday the market pretty much didn't do anything. It just came down and a push to the upside and it continued down. Now, what I think this is grabbing liquidity. I did mention that this thick green line here is the daily demand zone, but structurally right now on the lower time frames we are still structured to the downside. So what I would like to see happen today is continuation to this supply zone, of course, and after this continuation to the supply zone, this would be a perfect place for us to look for selling opportunities to the downside to take out structure either right here or to make the new low on this week. Or rather, if we do not hold right here at 1.1577, we continue to the upside. This would be a great place to look for bearish patterns and formations, and then continuation to the downside to take out structure either here or to make the new low of this week. This is still the ideal plan. Nothing has changed. We are still now. The reason why I did not do any video yesterday because there was no volatility yesterday on these markets that we are trading right here, except only on the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, as both did come out weak. So with that being said, traders, I want to repeat, this is still the ideal place to look for bearish patterns and formations. This is the first place to look for selling opportunities, and the second place to look for selling opportunities is right here or at 1.1618. This would be a great place for you to look for selling opportunities to the downside either on these places. And to remind you again, traders, the only time that we as traders would be looking for a selling opportunity is if the market reaches this weekly break of structure and then a continuation to the downside to retest this supply zone, which will now be a good setup for us to take that 1:3 risk to reward ratio to the upside. Or if it does break above here, this would be a great place during this week so that we can take buying opportunities from this level to the upside. Anything that happens that we are talking about is supposed to happen this week. It does not overlap into the next week. The next week, we personally will be dealing with the structures of next week. So without wasting further time, traders, let's go straight to the pound and the dollar. So traders, with the pound and the dollar, it's very similar to the euro and the dollar. We are still expecting to reach these supply zones, the first supply zone and the second supply zone, and then look for continuation to the downside. We are not looking for any buying opportunities, but if this happens, there's a possibility that this happens, of course. And with that being said, if it happens, I would like for everyone to be ready. Like if we do have a break below this new low from last week, which is 1.3096, then a pullback will be imminent to retest this break of the new low, and then a continuation to the downside to make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio. With that being said, traders, we already know one thing is for sure. We are now bullish on the dollar, and we are not looking for any buying opportunities in this currency pair. The only time we'll be looking for currency buying opportunities in this currency pair is if we do reach this 1.3369 right here, which is the weekly break of structure, then a continuation, a pullback to retest this 1.3291, and then look for buying opportunities right here, bullish patterns and formations, and then continuations to the upside to make 1:3 risk to reward ratio. As you remember, both these supply zones, you don't necessarily have to take 1:3 risk to reward ratio, as it will only be fair if you make this new low, because it might be 1:6, 1:7, or even 1:10 from here to the downside to make that new low. So with that being said, traders, this is the pound and the dollar for us. Let's go straight and check what the euro and the Canadian dollar have in store for us. And with the euro and the Canadian dollar, what we do have is, yesterday we did get this beautiful pump to the upside. This looks like a very resistant area. We might start getting this, and then a continuation to the downside, but it will be better, or a better opportunity for us, if we do get to reach this level right here at 1.6235, and then look for bearish patterns and formations right here to continue the downside and make that new low. So with that being said, traders, this is what to expect right here on this euro and the Canadian dollar. The new low is supposed to be down here. Something has moved my analysis at 1.6140. This is where the new low is supposed to be during our weekly interaction with the market. So with that being said, traders, let me just find it. No ways. Sorry for this, but I do have to do it and update it. Now, this is the new low, of course. So traders, with that being said, this is the new low that I was talking about. So we are going to look for a new low to the downside to take out structure right here. So with that being said, beautiful traders, we are still patiently waiting for bullish patterns and formations around this supply zone right here. This would be the first supply zone that we'll be dealing with, and the second supply zone that we'll be dealing with is 1.6267. The only time, I do repeat, the only time we'll be looking for buying opportunities is if we break or reach this 1.6324, and then get a pullback to retest the second supply zone, which will act now as the demand, and then continue to the upside to take out structure and make out that 1:3 risk to reward ratio. So that is it with the euro and the Canadian dollar. Let's go straight to the pound and the Canadian dollar. So with the pound and the Canadian dollar, yesterday we did have a nice uptick to the upside, which gave us the expectation of reaching the first supply zone and the continuation to the downside to take out structure right here at 1.8321. This would be the great place to take profit at. And right now, this is still the second place of supply zone, and then a continuation to the downside. Now, Someone might be looking at this and thinking, is this the only place that we will be forgetting that we're not going to reach this? Remember, we are also not looking for buying opportunities in the pound this week. We are looking for selling opportunities. So if this is your idea, what you would like to do or like to see is, after this drop, see the retest and then a continuation to the downside without you getting chopped up just because you're chasing this strong momentum to the downside. So that is it with the pound and the Canadian dollar. Right now, it would be very beneficial if we go to the euro and the pound to see what it has in store for us. And traders, yesterday, or right on the weekly forex forecast, because yesterday we did not analyze this, we did mention that if you did not pay attention to the weekly forex forecast, please go back to the weekly forex forecast, watch the weekly forex forecast to get deeper understanding or clearer vision of what we expected or what we expect going into this week. So with that being said, traders, this, yes, we did mention that we are already, from the beginning of the week, we are already at the demand zone of 0.8774. This would be a great place to look for buying opportunities. Yesterday, nothing really happened, and today we took the first opportunity that we did get, and this is the result we are still in. What I do expect is to come back and then take out the profit from this to the upside. This would be very much 1:10.12. Do you see? This is a good risk to reward ratio. This does not force us to do 1:3 because it is within our demand zone. It is not a change of structure or a trend continuation of structure. Okay. So with that being said, traders, this is the pound and this is the euro and the pound. So with that being said, the continuation is imminent to the upside. What do I expect to see? I expect to see the market shoot straight up to take out structure right here before coming down to retest the previous days. This would now be the daily demand. After taking this, I do want to see it come down to test this and then start going to the upside. So with that being said, traders, this would be a beautiful trade if you did follow it to the pip, or if you did follow the weekly forex forecast and you did try to get into the market with this. So traders, that is it from me. Let's go straight to the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. So traders, this is the US dollar and the Canadian dollar for us. On Monday, we did take this with the real account traders community. And if you were not part of this, you might have missed it. But if you were smart enough and you watched the weekly forex forecast that was in the market, you were able to catch this kind of pips. And with that being said, this was a fantastic setup. We are still not yet at take profit. What do I expect from now? I expect to see a bounce from this to continue my momentum to the upside to take out this structure right here at 1.4079. Now, after that, we are done. We already moved stop loss to this level right here, so that if we do not reach here and the market comes down, we take small profit. Now, it is better for you to have limited number of results. You take small loss, you take small profit, you take big profit, and you don't take big losses. Big losses are very bad, and you avoid to get in a situation whereby there is no coming back from what you have just experienced, and psychologically you are not ready for the market to continue trading again, because this becomes frustrating again once you've lost all your capital. So with that being said, traders, I do expect to see this go to the upside without reaching this was the new low from last week, and without reaching this level again at 1.4034. This is where we put our break even. If we do come here, we know that this is a retest. We'll be looking again for buying opportunities to the downside to make 1:3 or to take profit from these levels around here. So That is it from me, traders. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like, you subscribe, or refer someone who you think should know about this video. If it does help you, please leave a comment. It helps me get more focused every day on this free YouTube watch list. So with that being said, traders, let's see each other again tomorrow. Thanks and have a wonderful day trading.